If you're considering filing for divorce, you've got to look into doing a collaborative divorce. It'll save you time, money, and a ton of emotional turmoil. Collaborative divorce is a process where parties agree to work with their attorneys to settle their case outside of court. To understand what a collaborative divorce is, we should probably first try to understand what a traditional divorce is so that way we can better understand what a collaborative divorce is. Basically, in a nutshell, there are two different processes for ending a marriage. While both aim to achieve a final divorce judgment, they differ in 5 major ways. First of all, the process is different. In a traditional divorce, each spouse hires their own attorney and they prepare for litigation. The parties will file a complaint and they'll engage in formal discovery, such as sending interrogatories, conducting depositions, sending subpoenas, all in an effort to gather as much information as possible to help them to resolve their case. A judge will decide any unresolved issues and a trial may be necessary. In contrast, a collaborative divorce is a voluntary, non-adversarial process where parties work together to reach a mutually beneficial settlement. Each party has their own attorney, but they work together in negotiating a settlement that works well for both parties. Second, you have different levels of control. In a traditional divorce, a judge will ultimately decide any unresolved issues if parties just can't resolve them themselves. There are also more outside interventions in a traditional divorce. For example, in cases involving children, the friend of the court will get involved in order to help parties decide issues of child custody, parenting time, and child support. Also, there are court dates that you're required to attend, and if parties have a disagreement about something or another, the judge can order you to do something that you don't normally want to do. For example, the judge could order you to sell your home. The judge could order you to go to therapy. The judge could also order parenting time, giving you less time with your kids than you would like. In a collaborative divorce, parties have more control over the outcome and can work together in order to effectuate their goals and objectives. They can literally craft an agreement that works for their situation, for their family, for their life. Third, the cost is a major factor. Traditional divorce can be very expensive as the process involves multiple court appearances, discovery, and trial preparation. Collaborative divorce is less costly because the parties work together. They don't have to engage in discovery and it involves much fewer court appearances. So a traditional divorce may run you tens of thousands of dollars, where a collaborative divorce will oftentimes cost less than $10,000 and usually even less than $5,000. Fourth, the timing is different. A traditional divorce can take months or even years to complete, whereas a collaborative divorce can be done in as little as weeks or even a couple months. And fifth, the emotional impact is much different. Traditional divorce can be emotionally taxing as it involves an extremely combative and adversarial process. And that naturally is going to be stressful. Collaborative divorce, on the other hand, aims to reduce conflict as it promotes collaboration and cooperation and working together to reach a settlement that works well for both parties. So now that we understand the differences between a collaborative divorce and a traditional divorce, let's delve a little deeper into a collaborative divorce. In a collaborative divorce, parties will sign an agreement that commits them to trying to settle the case without going to court. Each party is represented by their own attorney. That attorney will advise them and advocate for them and negotiate on their behalf with the opposing counsel to ensure that the process is fair and transparent. The attorney will help their client understand what their rights are and the benefits, the pros and the cons of potential settlement options, and generally just helps them to be more informed about the process and what they're entitled to and what they may be giving up by agreeing to certain settlement offers. Again, ultimately, the goal is to reach a mutually beneficial settlement. So as you can see, the role of the attorney in a collaborative divorce is much different than that attorney's role in a traditional divorce where it's more adversarial and litigious. The collaborative divorce process generally involves multiple meetings between the client and his or her attorney, as well as joint meetings between the two parties and their attorneys. The parties may also bring in other professionals in the collaborative divorce process, such as real estate agents, mortgage brokers, CPAs, mental health professionals, to help make sure that they address all issues in the case. During these meetings, the parties will try to resolve issues of property division, child custody, parenting time, child support, alimony, and again, will try to reach a mutually beneficial settlement. The parties are encouraged to communicate openly and honestly with one another. and to work towards finding solutions that will meet both parties' needs. Now, the parties must be open and transparent about their assets and their liabilities, and they must share records and statements with their attorneys and with the other side to ensure fairness and transparency. If the collaborative divorce process is successful, the parties will memorialize their agreement in a document typically called a settlement agreement, which is then filed with the divorce filing. Now, the parties can file the divorce themselves, or they can hire the attorneys to do it for them. If the parties are unable to reach a settlement through the collaborative divorce process, then the attorneys must withdraw and the parties must then file for a traditional divorce. Now, you may be wondering, is collaborative divorce right for you? A collaborative divorce may not be appropriate for all couples, especially those with power imbalances or a history of abuse. Power imbalances can all but guarantee an unfair result if one party is afraid of their spouse or feels coerced to settle. Also, those with highly charged, emotionally toxic relationships are not a good fit for a collaborative divorce either. Parties must be able to communicate effectively and respectfully for this to work. And again, the goal is to reach a fair settlement. And so if you want your spouse to pay for what they did to you, it's going to be hard to get there with a collaborative divorce. So as you can see, collaborative divorce offers many benefits over traditional divorce, including reduced costs, greater control over the outcome, and just generally a more positive approach to resolving disputes. So if you're curious as to whether a collaborative divorce is right for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. My phone number is 248-825-8042, or you can reach me at Madana@hurmozlaw.com. Thanks so much for watching.